the water Native Americans called Gitchigumi. Over a century ago, these shores were crowded with lumber mills, waiting for huge trees that were amongst the first living things to dot our landscape. Lumberjacks, being paid as little as $1 a day, came from far and wide, and with axe and two-man saw, cleared the huge timber. The logs were then sent by water through Minnesota's 10,000 lakes and countless rivers to mill towns like the ones along Lake Superior. Much of the lumber would be used to build the upstart cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. But while the logs were waiting to be milled in large booms, many sunk to the bottom, left to a watery grave more than a century ago. It was 10 years ago. A scuba diver who, while looking for shipwrecks in Lake Superior, came upon a different kind of sunken treasure.
This was just a forgotten resource until I came along and stumbled upon it.
For the past decade, Timeless Timber of Ashland, Wisconsin, has been raising these old logs. And now thousands are stacked and being processed while providing a history lesson. The newest treasure comes from the Hudson Bay area.
We found that the king marked these logs in a stand with the king stamp, and it said this stand was owned by the King of England. And then their crews cut these down, or the woods that they needed for shipbuilding, for the galleons, the warships.
This thing started out as a tree about like this size, and they hewn it down by hand?
They hand-hewed.
Massive logs, cut into squares so not an inch was wasted when stacked in a ship's hull for the journey back to England. And there's more history.
And this size, for instance, is about 1,000 years old. It took 1,000 years old for this tree to grow. But because it was cut in 1760, it puts it a seedling in the year 760.
Trees so old that finding a musket ball or arrowheads wedged inside their bark is a common occurrence. And once the saw cuts them open, the unique grains make some of the logs worth thousands of dollars, and have drawn the attention of modern-day corporate kings, like the wood used to build the executive conference room at Ford Motor Company.
In 1999, a major renovation of the Ford World Headquarters building took place. Among the many area changes was a request to create a conference room for the chairman of the Ford Motor Company, Bill Ford. Bill Ford wanted a unique room constructed with environmentally friendly materials. The first step was to retrieve the logs needed to fill the required wood order for the conference room. Next, the logs were milled into appropriate sizes for the project. The boards for the floor were cut and trimmed to size at the retrieval facility. Some of the wood was sent on to a furniture-making company in Pennsylvania for crafting, while the flooring was delivered to another facility to be tongue and grooved and prepared for installation. The credenzas and conference table utilized choice sections of wood from the sunken logs. Put the final finish on the artistry. Numerous craftsmen then put their experience to work on the assembly process. And slowly but surely, the room was constructed right on schedule and with the utmost precision. staining of the floor brought out the elegance of the wood and unique herringbone design. The end result is a unique example of fine craftsmanship, utilizing environmentally friendly, sustainable practices.
A new circle of life for lost lumber and a big lesson in ecology.
Today you'll have every environmentalist, and rightfully so, protesting any tree that's cut down at the virgin.
From samples at Timeless Timber's Twin Cities headquarters, others have grabbed small mementos on display at Underwater Adventures in the Mall of America.
The tight rings, a result of centuries of slow growth in dense forests, produce a beautiful design called figure in the wood.
This one ranks right up there. This is one of the prettiest logs that you'll get.
Wood this rare and potentially profitable has to be handled very carefully.
The wood, when it's brought up, is 200% saturation content. There's more water than fiber.
The wood is processed in this state-of-the-art mill. Each log is custom cut by a special bandsaw designed to reduce waste and get the most out of every piece. Massive kilns dry the quality cut wood for 45 to 90 days. Details of the process are a closely guarded secret.
This is a dream come true, and it feels good to be able to supply that wood to those people that really appreciate this. I mean, this isn't 2x4 material. When this one's gone, she's gone, and we're going to take her and stretch it out as long as we can and supply that so-called niche market. But we're finding that niche market is getting larger and larger, as the word gets out about this wood.